Today we're here at the Bellingham Marathon sign-up place where we get all our gear, our swag, and get ourselves ready for the race tomorrow on September 24th. All the t-shirts are over there. People are in line getting their stuff, getting ready for the marathon, half marathon, 10K, and 5K. The Greater Bellingham Running Club, of which I'm a member, is here. The Bellingham Distance Project, Lululemon, B-Bay, and more. We just talked to Josh Olivera about the race, and we look forward to seeing you all tomorrow, September 24th, in Bellingham, the Lummi Nation, downtown, and more. See you there. So today on Adventures with Leo Schumaker and Running and Racing with Leo Schumaker on BTV and KMRE 88.3 FM, we're talking about the Bellingham Bay Marathon happening tomorrow.
That's right.
We have Josh Olivera here. Josh, you're the organizer.
I am the co-director of the race this year with Mark Blake, who is the owner of Pacific Multisports.
How'd you get involved?
So I've actually worked the race previously. In 2019, I was working with a company called Emotive, and we managed the registration, the timing, and the photography for the race. And so I had a history with that and have been in contact with Mark just through mutual contacts in the industry, and we decided to tag team this together.
Is it a lot of work, Josh?
Oh, it's a lot of work for sure, but we have phenomenal support from the beneficiary organizations that actually own the race, which is the Bellingham Bay Swim Team and the FC Rangers, the Whatcom FC Rangers Soccer Club. And they do a phenomenal job providing all the volunteers on the course. And then we also have the blessing of the Lummi Nation, who's gracious enough to let us use their land for the start line, and great collaboration with the City of Bellingham and our local vendors and partners as well.
And it's a wonderful start because you're at the temple there for the Lummi Nation.
That's right.
They have ceremonies, drumming ceremonies to drive you, to make you enthused about it. You take buses from here down to there, right?
Correct, yeah. So we have a shuttle service that'll take finishers who don't want to drive up to the start and leave the vehicle, and they will shuttle them up to the start, and then we bring their gear check bags, so it's waiting for them at the finish line.
So where can they park at to catch the bus?
So they can park anywhere downtown on a first-come, first-served basis, and primarily in the commercial lot if the street parking is full at that time. But I can say the one benefit of being on the shuttles is you're one of the first people to arrive at the race, so there's ample street parking in lots of places, as opposed to if you're showing up to one of the later distances.
So tell us the distance of the races.
So we have a marathon relay, half marathon, 10K, and 5K. So there is a little bit for everyone, even people who want to get in on the team participation and not just running individually.
So what is a team relay? How much is it broken up into?
Absolutely. So we have 5 different legs, and you can have as little as 2 members that run multiple legs or 5 team members, and there's relay exchanges at multiple aid stations along the course so that you can have a team dynamic where you hand off the chip and see it all the way through the finish.
So it's not a baton, it's a chip.
Correct.
A baton is great.
The batons are great, but they're harder to time accurately, so we want to make sure we get everyone's results. Yeah.
How many people will run in the marathon?
The marathon will have a little over 350 this year, as well as a little bit over 150 people in the marathon relay.
How about the half?
Half marathon is a little bit over 1,000.
That's a lot of people.
It's the biggest field by far, for sure, in this race.
So where's the half marathon start?
The half marathon starts at Depot Market Square, which is also the finish line for all races and the start line for both the 10K and the 5K.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
How about the 10K? How many people on 10K?
Off the top of my head, I want to say there's close to 600, but I'd have to double check the numbers again because we've been getting a lot of last minute registrations, which is great.
That's wonderful.
It is, yeah.
So I'm running the 10K, so I'm going to have 600 of my best friends running with me, right?
That is right, yeah.
And it's a great course. I've run the course several times.
Yes, we're actually thrilled to announce that we have redesigned the half marathon, 10K, and 5K courses this year to include more scenic parts where you can run around the bay, as opposed to the previous years where they've done some out and backs on Rotor and some of the more industrial areas. So we're excited to have our participants try those out for the first time this year.
So Josh, are you a runner?
I am a mild runner. I run 5Ks.
He's a mild runner. 5K.
Yeah, 5Ks.
I've never heard that before. A mild runner.
I'm a mild runner, you know? Yeah.
How'd you get started running? What made you run?
So honestly, it was kind of just peer pressure.
Yeah.
I got into race organizing before I started running, and it's just such a common sport. And there's so many of the teams that I'll produce and work with races where they'll just go out for runs and stuff like that, where I was like, okay, I should definitely get some legs under me to do a little bit of the sport and not just be on the directing side of things.
Now, did you have a running team here to train for the Bellingham Marathon, half marathon?
We did. We actually have a couple different partner programs. So B-Bay Running, which is a local sponsor and a local running store here, has a marathon training program that they put on through the store. And then we also have a coaching program by Alicia Jenkins, who's an ambassador, a local coach, and involved in the athletics in many different ways. And she was leading group runs regularly every week for people separately as well, so that they could get familiar, and did a course preview as well.
I'm on the B-Bay team.
Awesome. Yeah. That's great. Yeah.
It's great to run with people. It's great to have someone to talk to.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Or somebody who talks a lot and you can listen.
Yeah, totally.
So what kind of shoes do you wear?
I am a Brooks guy for the most part, and I actually really do like the New Balance Vongos, because I need a little bit of a support too. I have a light pronation, so those have been really, really solid for me. But race day, Brooks and Hoka for sure.
And you'll probably be wearing the running shoes.
I will.
Everywhere, won't you?
Yep, and Gore-Tex for sure, because if we get some of that water, soggy socks is not a great 15-hour day. Yep, absolutely. Hopefully that will clear up by tomorrow.
I didn't expect this much rain.
I didn't either, and I'm really hoping that we don't have to deal with that in the morning. Hopefully it gets all of its moisture out today and we have a nice dry race morning.
That's Washington.
Yeah. It can never make up its mind. I've watched the forecast flip-flop 10 times just this week.
So are they marathon running on roads, trails?
There's a mix. I would say 90% roads. There's a couple brief portions where you're on the trail, and very, very short portions of the course where you're on gravel trail. The vast majority is paved roads. And then we also have traffic control, police, and over 200 course monitors throughout the course to ensure the safety of the runners and make sure that everyone knows which direction they're heading and when to split if there's course splits.
And Peace Health will have first aid stations.
Absolutely, correct? Yeah. We would like to thank our presenting sponsor, Peace Health, for providing all of the on-site and finish line medical staff, as well as multiple aid stations on course where we will actually have medical staff and some roaming medical as well.
So if I wanted to be a race director, what are the things I should look for?
Yeah.
If anybody wanted to be a race director, what should we do?
I would say, first and foremost, get in somewhere at the entry level of race management, where you start managing a course or managing the expo, so you can kind of understand just the A to B. It's a giant bowl of responsibility soup, I would say. So like getting in at some level where you can kind of understand the flow and the ins and outs of how the race actually functions. Most races have a pretty similar template to how things kind of ebb and flow. So from there you'll understand and gain an awareness of all of the things to be aware of, and then slowly work your way up to ops directing and then eventually race directing. Because by the time you're there, you're kind of in charge of everything, so you need to have at least enough knowledge to know that each portion of the event management is on track, even if it's not directly in your wheelhouse.
What are your biggest problems?
I would say that the biggest problems are always the ones that you can't plan for. So that's where pristine planning is really important, because you want to make sure that you have all of the variables you can account for dialed, so that when there is inclement weather or any vandalism or any number of things that can and will go wrong sometimes at the race site, you have the operational slack and the awareness to compensate for it without any diminishing of the runner's experience.
Good. And completing a race is always so important and it always feels so good. And you're going to have how many people all together in the race?
A little over 2,500, which is awesome. So that is the biggest participation field we have had since COVID. So we're very excited about that. And I agree. I think the finish line vibes are immaculate. Everyone's running on high endorphins and feeling that accomplishment. It's a great atmosphere.
And you're going to have a place where we can take a picture with a crown on, right?
You know it.
I love that.
Bring your own crown. BYOC.
That's great.
Finisher medal included, though.
Is there a website we can go to?
Absolutely. BellinghamBayMarathon.org has all of the full details on there, and then we also have Instagram. I monitor the DMs, so if you have any questions, that's probably the quickest way. We also have a participant email, support email, which is bbm@pacificmultisports.com. We'll also be paying attention to that throughout the day. But of course, expect a little bit of delays in responses as we are in the thick of the race production.
Oh, I know, it's going to be amazing. Yeah. So afterwards, if anybody wants to send a picture in, can they do that?
They can absolutely do that. You can email that picture at bbm@pacificmultisports.com. We also have a number of, we are not doing finisher photos this year, but we also do have a number of course photographers that are going to be taking commercial photos that we'll use in our social media and marketing assets for next season. So if you see one of those photographers out there, make sure to ham it up, give them a wave, and give them a good shot. Maybe you'll end up on one of our ads next year.
You never know.
You never know, yeah.
Josh Olivera, thanks so much
for your
help and the race, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Can't wait to have you. We'll see you at the finish line.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.